Our thought for today is spring cleaning never killed anyone, but why take the chance? As you know, we got back from Poland a few weeks ago. We went to Warsaw and we saw some of the items that honor Father Jerzy Popielusko. Father Jerzy, it's spelled J-E-R-Z-Y. Father Jerzy was beatified by Pope Benedict XVI in the year 2010. Father Jerzy was killed by the communist secret police in 1984 and was declared a martyr for the faith. So we just wanted to spend a couple minutes telling about his story because he's one of the greatest, most heroic priests of this past century. Father Jerzy was born in 1947, was ordained a priest in 1972, and he's from the Warsaw area in Poland. And as you know, after World War II, the Soviets came into Poland, took over Poland, and forced communism, atheistic communism, tried to crush the Catholic faith. And fortunately, there were great men like Cardinal Wyszynski, and then, of course, Cardinal Wojtyła, who would become John Paul II, that tried to keep the Catholic faith alive and strong in Poland. And the communists, for over 40 years, tried to crush the Catholic faith. But then the great event occurred that one of the Polish cardinals became Pope, John Paul II, the first Polish Pope. And this gave great hope and resurgence of the faith throughout Poland. And the Pope asked to visit Poland. And of course, the communists did not want that, but they could not refuse. So in 1980, in June, the Pope visited Poland for 9 days. I encourage you to watch the movie, the DVD called 9 Days That Changed the World. And it's all about the papal visit, of how millions of people would show up in different parts of the country to see Pope John Paul II. He reminded them of their Catholic faith, their Catholic heritage, and really inspired an entire nation. And that was really the spark that would begin the crack in communism in Poland. And then about a year later, in Gdansk, you had the Solidarity movement begun with Lech Walesa, and where they would take over, in a sense, establish the first free union in the Soviet bloc. And again, this was the next step in that. And then, of course, the socialists the communists sent in their generals and tried to crush Solidarity with martial law. And they arrested 5,000 members of Solidarity, killed about 100 of them, imprisoned the rest. And one of the young priests, they asked the cardinal to send in a priest into this factory in Gdansk. And so Cardinal Wyszynski sent in Father Jerzy, who was only about 30 years old at the time. And he became their chaplain of Solidarity. He would go and hear their confessions of the men, and he would say Mass for them. And so he really became the chaplain of Solidarity. And then he would have once a month the Masses for the fatherland in his parish church. Thousands of people would come, then tens of thousands, then even hundreds of thousands would come. And of course, the communists got very worried and upset. They tried to, they have death threats against Father Jerzy. They would even throw little, bombs into his homes on occasion and made up charges against him. And then in 1984, he was coming home from a speaking engagement. He and his driver, they blocked the road. They arrested both of them, and the driver escaped, but Father Jerzy was beaten to death, and then his body was tied with 25 pounds of weight, and then thrown into a sack and thrown into the Vistula River. And his body was found about 10 days later downstream. And when Father Jerzy was missing, all of Poland went to its knees praying for their beloved priest, who was the great advocate of religious freedom. Father Jerzy would never give political homilies. He would just talk about the dignity of the human person, the dignity of the worker, religious freedom, and the history of Poland being a devout Catholic country, and how we need to be able to practice our faith in freedom. And so he was certainly a great martyr for the faith. And this was, besides the visit of John Paul II, the establishment of Solidarity, and then the martyrdom of Father Jerzy, these were the three things that helped the most in bringing about the fall of communism. And then in 1989, the Berlin Wall came down, and the ripple effect of Solidarity and John Paul II and Father Jerzy, the key players in the fall of communism in Poland. Father Jerzy was beatified in 2010. 1.5 million people attended the beatification, 16,000 Polish priests, over 100 Polish bishops. So I do encourage you to get to know Father Jerzy, read about his life. There's a wonderful documentary called The Messenger of Truth that tells the story of this just ordinary parish priest that God raised up to really be a martyr for his homeland, for his Polish people. So we pray today, Father Jerzy Popielusko, pray for us.